Carjackings are on the rise. According to the Cook County Sheriff's Office, they've tripled in Chicago over the past decade. Cities including New York City, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. have seen similar upticks as well. Senators are now exploring what the federal government can do about it. Amanda Vinicky joins us now with more. Amanda.
Yes, Paris, the roughly 2,000 carjackings here last year amount to one every 4 hours.
So carjacking is a scourge. To be sitting in your car with your family and have a person stick a gun in your face and force you to get out so they can steal the car. That's a situation no American should have to face.
And with carjackers typically armed, it's a particularly dangerous crime.
It happens in a split second. There's a moving car involved. Sometimes there's passengers in the car who are not seen to the perpetrator, including children. That raises the risk that there's going to be some sort of resistance, either by virtue of surprise or by virtue of trying to defend family members from the person who's a victim of the crime. The inclusion of a firearm in that set of circumstances greatly increases the risk of somebody being seriously injured or killed in the course of a carjacking. And we see that over and over and over again.
Experts called before a U.S. Judiciary Committee today point to various reasons behind the surge. With demand high and supply low for used cars, criminals can make a profit from stolen vehicles.
Cars are being stolen here in the United States. There's VIN swaps that are utilized to resell the vehicles, so they're not known that they are stolen. They're shipped overseas, Middle East criminal enterprises. They go outbound. Many of you are aware they were funding for terrorism investigations. And then cars are also shipped to Mexico. We repatriate hundreds of cars a year that are shipped into Mexico after they're stolen.
But also perpetrators may be looking for an anonymous car to use in another crime, like a drive-by shooting. Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart points to that as a common motive. He says that carjackings are easy for the offenders to carry out, but he says that they are hard to solve and hard crimes to prosecute. One issue, it is tough to know the extent due to disparate data. Now, to that end, Senator Durbin is calling on the FBI and the Department of Justice to establish a national database. But also, law enforcement cite issues with accessing vehicle location tracking data in a timely fashion.
I'm a former prosecutor, and I can tell you firsthand, the quicker we can get that vehicle, the less chance it'll be used in another crime, and the more likely we'll be able to convict somebody. The longer it takes, the less likely we can convict anyone.
Dart says that quick access to a car's location is a game changer when it comes to finding the car and catching the culprits. He gives a recent example.
License plate readers. Looking for cars that are on our list because there's warrants for them, they've been stolen, carjacking, so on. By the time the license plate reader hits, though, it's 4 seconds before we get it. They're on the expressway in the Dan Ryan. They're now 5 miles down. We're completely operating in the dark. When it's tracked, we're there right on top of it. When it's not tracked, it's completely random, and we occasionally will get lucky.
Most cars manufactured after 2015 have tracking systems built in, but Dart told senators it is not often clear who to call to access that information. Some auto companies have limited hours, so he says there's no one to call at times when a carjacking occurs and that immediate access is needed. He says that in some cases, companies insist a customer pay a fee to begin tracking their stolen car. Now, in light of these issues, senators are exploring options, like giving U.S. attorneys a greater role.
I'm looking at expanding the reach of federal carjacking statute. Progressive prosecutors at the state level have told criminals that they won't get in trouble with certain crimes. Well, that won't fly with the federal government.
Also, establishing a national standard for when and how law enforcement can access this data. President of the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, that's an auto manufacturers group, though, says that this is a sensitive area. He says that there is not one standard operating system that is used across the board. He also says that car companies have to balance sharing location information with the consumer's privacy rights. He says that companies shouldn't be made to share that data with a third party, even law enforcement, without express consent from the vehicle's owner, unless, well, there are exceptions, unless there is a court order, a warrant, or unless there are exigent circumstances. He says that car owners, however, need to know what exactly circumstances would qualify.
any case where a vehicle is stolen by force? Does it only apply in a circumstance where the theft places the owner or a passenger in imminent danger? At a minimum, we feel there should be a process to certify that there are exigent circumstances.
Dart told senators that privacy concerns are no reason to be paralyzed from moving forward on this. He says that there are ways to overcome those obstacles. Now, Dart, by the way, could face a couple of challengers as he runs for re-election this year. With that, Paris, back to you.
All right, Amanda, thanks very much.